Hello friends, my name is James. And this is my 1965 Alberg 30 sloop, Tritea. We are on a mission to sail around the world and see as much of this beautiful planet as possible. We are currently working our way through the South Pacific, and I can't wait to show you everything we see. Goodbye, magical Moorea. Truly, truly a magical place, for sure. Very, very happy that I got to visit here, even for only one day. Memories I'll never forget. Now we are bound for Huahine in the Leeward Islands. We have a passage of 85 miles and pretty stoked to be on the move. So, time to get to the helm and get out of the pass. We have just enough wind to be sailing. We're doing like 3 knots. Once we get outside the lee of Moorea, we shall see what the winds are doing and go from there. If the winds are light still, then we will shake out the first reef that we have in the mainsail. But and if it's too light, we'll motor sail. We can always use a little bit of extra charge on the battery, so that's no problem. We get plenty of fuel. But as always, I would much rather be sailing with no engine, and it is a beautiful, clear day, and I'm looking forward to making landfall on Huahine. Finally got outside the lee of the island and into the real wind. We're in acceleration zone when we had the end of Moorea on our beam, and it's pretty gusty, but now it's stabilized and the seas have kind of gotten regular. It's blowing like 20 knots and we're running with it, so pretty comfortable. We're making crazy good speed. We're doing like 6 knots regular and then 7 knots when the big waves make a surf. So we'll have to slow down in the middle of the night to make sure we don't get in the dark. But pretty easy sailing, and yeah, this is probably what type of sailing we'll be doing for most of the rest of the season until we get to Fiji. So almost got splashed. Yeah, just gonna settle into a book, relax, keep my eye out to try to see if we see some whales, and enjoy the sail. like 6:30, the sun just went down. Big following seas. It's really hard to keep her on course. She's just getting kind of thrown everywhere. The winds dropped down to 14. It feels like they came back up though, but yeah, we just keep driving all over the place. Makes for wobbly sailing. Hopefully it'll normalize now that the sun's going down, and we can try to stay on our course. We're only like 50 miles from the bottom of Huahine, so, but these big seas, big following seas, just make her go all over the place. It's like 3 in the morning. Little squall kind of passing over, which has us sailing kind of in a wacky direction. The winds got real light, I don't know, probably an hour ago, and it's just been, the seas have just been making everything very noisy. And we've just kind of been getting tossed around by the seas, but I don't want to start the motor and run the motor to get us going, because I don't want us to get in before the sun comes up. So we're just kind of going with it. We're sailing in a weird direction because of the squall, because the wind shift, but it's fine. Just been getting up every hour, seen a number of fishing boats throughout the night, and there's one sailing boat that's ahead of us, heading in the same direction as us. Other than that, pretty mellow night. Good morning. So we hove to at like 3:30 because of squalls and because we were so close to the island. So let's pop out and take a look at Huahine. Now that it's light out, we can actually get back underway. Super stoked to be here. You can see the spray from the waves hitting the outer reef. There's the reef break right there. I've been watching this reef break. It's like a mile offshore, which is so crazy. It would be very easy to hit that if you didn't have GPS satellite navigation. We're just creeping along the coast, trying to make our way into the pass here off of Huahine. We are approaching the pass. There's two passes next to each other. We're doing the second one. I can't remember the name of it. 2.5 miles from our current location. Little light rain storm just passed, so hopefully it'll stay dry until we get anchored. One of the reasons we had to peace out from Moorea after only one day is because there's big thunderstorms coming tomorrow. So that's when I want to go ahead and get the passage knocked out over here, get anchored and set before these storms hit. So we're going to be anchoring in a place called The Flats near Village Fair. And Huahine looks absolutely beautiful. Big boy, wow. I can hear him. Those big dolphins. Very lazy in the morning. So glassy. We got anchored in 25 feet of water. We got 4 scope all chain out. Actually 5 scope all chain, have 100 feet out. I floated the chain because I can see coral heads and I don't want to damage them. It's beautiful. Beautiful island, I'm excited to explore it. And there's like more anchorages out there. You can see the shallows by the reef. And it's very warm, and now it's time for me to make a very large breakfast because I'm dying of starvation. But happy to be here. This is the village fair, so we're definitely going to be scoping out that village and yeah, get to know Huahine a little bit. It's like 4 a.m. At 3:30, the winds got up to, I don't know, over 30 knots for a long time. I'd rigged up the spare cockpit shade as like a wind scoop, and I guess I should have taken it down in the night, but that's when the rain's coming. I was trying to use it for the cockpit, but it got blown out on one side. The winds are fluctuating now between, I don't know, they're kind of steady at maybe 20 knots, and then they'll gust up to 30, 35, but they were 30, 35 sustained for a while. Had one of these blows yesterday afternoon too that lasted a while, but yeah, it was too loud to sleep, so I got up, made coffee, and just get my day started. So I want to read a passage from the book I'm reading to you guys, Men Against the Sea, about Captain Bligh and his completely insane voyage with 18 of his crew in an open launch after they were marooned by the mutineers of the Bounty. They were put into the sea near Tonga and sailed all the way to Indonesia in this small open boat. And in this passage, they are, I think they're inside the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia. It's kind of hard to follow where exactly they are because they use different names for things. I don't want to read this to you because it's bonkers. And I'll read a little section to kind of set up the scene, and then I'll go to the part I actually wanted to share with you. It says, they had 3 leagues to the northward of this inlet, we found a small island where we decided to spend the night. The sea was rough, the wind was now making up in gusts, and there was a strong current sending to the north. Though well wooded with low scrub, the island appeared the merest pile of rocks, with only poor landing in a lee of the point. A shark of monstrous proportions swam alongside the boat for some time as we approached the land, and as we rounded the point, some of the people saw a large animal resembling a crocodile pass under the boat. Bigger than the launch he was, said Cole, when the captain questioned him, with 4 legs and a great long tail. A crocodile, ye can lay to that, sir. So that's the scenario that they're pulling up on. They cruise up to this island. They've only got to sleep on land, I think maybe twice in all the time since they've been in this scenario. They throw out their anchor to try to anchor. It's all coral, and there's like a strong current running. And as soon as the anchor caught, the rod snapped, and they lost their anchor. And they had to row as hard as they could against the current back to where they thought the anchor was. And Captain Bligh was like, they said he Captain Bligh didn't even turn around to look. He just said, okay, stop, because he knew the exact pacing as to where they had lost the anchor. It says, Bligh was peering down in the water ahead. Hold on here, he ordered without turning his head. There was something ominous about this place, and with the wild red sunset, the thought of the monsters we had seen so short a time before would have deterred most men from doing what Bligh now did. He stripped off his ragged shirt and trousers, seized the end of the grapple line, that's like the anchor rod, and plunged into the sea. Cole gazed after him anxiously, then seeing that people had stopped rowing for a moment in their astonishment, he roared out, "Pull, I say! Do you want to drag the line out of the captain's hands? Pull, damn your blood!" He was paying out line as he shouted and gazed earnestly down in the water. Captain Bligh came to the surface, drew 3 or 4 long breaths, and dived once more. Nearly a minute passed before he reappeared. This time he swam to the stern of the boat, pulled himself aboard. For a moment or two he sat on the gunwale, breathing rapidly. "By God, sir," I remarked, "I am glad you did not ask me to dive." He laughed grimly. "I was none too eager to go down, but I'll ask no one to do what I fear to do myself." The thought of the monstrous shark was never out of my mind. He shivered. "Nelson, what was the other thing that we saw? A crocodile?" "I have no doubt about it," Nelson replied. "Captain Cook saw what he believed were crocodiles in these waters." Bligh shivered in spite of himself. I'm as glad to be on the boat again. I'm as glad to be in the boat again, he said. "We are in a bad position here. These currents are the devil. They seem to set us 4 ways at once." "You were fortunate to get down to the grapple, sir." "Aye, Mr. Peckover. The Indians of Otaheite are the men for that work. I managed to get the line rove through the ring before I had to come up and blow. But one of them would have stopped down and bent it on. We whites are good for nothing underwater." So gnarly. Gnarly. And that is like the smallest inconvenience of this whole book. Like, seriously, this book stresses me out so much, but it is so good. If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.